Hi and welcome back to your weekend class. We were studying the chapter Lost Spring, and I have just told you that in the previous two parts about the difficult conditions in which these poor children live, and they are called rag pickers because they go in search of something valuable in the garbage. They try to find something precious or some coins or some money so that they may have money to sustain that particular day, to have meal that particular day. They have no schools to go to because first of all there are no schools in that area. Secondly, there is no the financial condition is very bad. They don't have proper clothes to wear, proper shoes or chappals to wear, and the living conditions are also very unhygienic, deplorable, difficult. Their houses are small, water comes from the roof, so it's pathetic basically. But they still survive and they still do this job of rag picking, and it's a different feeling for the parents as well as for the children, and it is the matter of survival. If they will not do that work, then they will not earn money to have a meal, at least a meal once a day. But for the parents, it's just something that the children do, and they go out of the house, and if they will not do that, it will be difficult for them to survive. So for both of them, uh, the crux of the whole thing is the same, but the way both of them look at it, it is different, right? So we continue with the chapter. One winter morning, I see Sahib standing by the fenced gate of the neighborhood club, watching two young men dressed in white playing tennis. I like the game, he hums, content to watch it standing behind the fence. I go inside when no one is around, he admits. The gatekeeper lets me use the swing. So perhaps it is a playground where there is a tennis court, and he generally goes there and he watches people playing tennis from outside, and when nobody is there, the gatekeeper allows him to go inside the playground and play on the swings, and he enjoys because he's just a child, and definitely whatever children love to play with, he also has the same feeling, so he also loves that feeling. Sahib too is wearing tennis shoes that look strange over his discolored shirt and shorts. Someone gave them to me, he says in the manner of an explanation. The fact that they are discarded shoes of some rich boy who perhaps refused to wear them because of a hole in one of them does not bother him. For one who has walked barefoot, even shoes with a hole is a dream come true. But the game he is watching so intently is out of his reach, right? So Sahib has a pair of tennis shoes. He found that, or somebody gave him, and it's so ironic because the one who gave him, it was not that it's what the shoe was not in a very bad condition, it just had a small hole, but because that boy is rich and he can afford to buy another pair of shoes, so he gave it away to Sahib. And boys like Sahib who don't have even chappals to wear, and if they get a shoe from somewhere, it is like heaven for them. So they would understand the value of that shoe. So perhaps uh, he's able to have the tennis shoes, but his economic condition or his social status in the society is not that he might go inside the tennis court and play along with the rich guys who are playing tennis over there. This morning, Sahib is on his way to the milk booth. In his hand is a steel canister. I now work in a tea stall down the road, he says, pointing in the distance. I am paid 800 rupees and all my meals. Does he like the job? I ask. His face, I see, has lost the carefree look. The steel canister seems heavier than the plastic bag he would carry so lightly over his shoulders. The bag was his. The canister belongs to the man who owns the tea shop. Sahib is no longer his own master. Right? So one morning the writer sees Sahib again and he's carrying a canister, a utensil to buy milk. And then he starts talking, and then she says that Sahib informs that now he has started working in a tea stall and he is going to buy milk. But still that freedom that was on his face has now disappeared, because the bag that he used to carry earlier, जो कचरे का जो बैग वो पकड़ा रहता था पहले, वो उसका खुद का था. उसके पास फ्रीडम था, उसके पास एक एक तरीके का इंडिपेंडेंस था कि वो उसका खुद का काम था, वो अपना मालिक था. लेकिन अब उसका मालिक कोई और है, वो किसी और के लिए काम कर रहा है. He earns 800 rupees and he is able to get food also to eat. And perhaps for a poor child who did not get a meal for one day also, one time also in a day, this is a better job, even if it means sacrificing his freedom. I want to drive a car. Mukesh insists on being his own master. I will be a motor mechanic, he announces. Do you know anything about cars? I ask. I will learn to drive a car, he answers, looking straight into my eyes. His dream looms like a mirage amidst the dust of streets that fill his town, Firozabad, famous for his bangles. Every other family in Firozabad is engaged in making bangles. It is the center of India's glass-blowing industry, where families have spent generations working around furnaces, welding glass, making bangles for all the women in the land, it seems. Right? Now now the author talks about some other boy. That the first part was the story of Sahib. Now he's talking about another boy called Mukesh, who works in the bangle factory in Firozabad. His family members are working there, and तो हमने पहले पार्ट उसमें स्टोरी के पहले पार्ट में एक रैग पिकर के बारे में बात की है. अब हम उन बच्चों के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं जिनकी फैमिलीज बैंगल बनाने की फैक्ट्रीज में काम करते हैं. एंड दैट वर्क इज़ ऑल्सो वेरी वेरी रिस्की एंड इट्स नॉट healthy and good for the children, but yet to survive they have to do that work. And Mukesh is the boy now that we are talking about. तो मुकेश चाहता है कि वो मोटर मैकेनिक बने, उसको कार चलाना है, उसके पास खुद की कार हो, तो उसके भी काफ़ी सारे सपने हैं. Now let's read about him. Mukesh's family is among them. None of them know that it is illegal for children like him to work in the glass furnaces with high temperatures, in dingy cells without air and light, that the law, if enforced, would get him and all those 20,000 children out of the hot furnaces where they slog their daylight hours, often losing the brightness of their eyes. Mukesh's eyes beam as he volunteers to take me home, which he proudly says is being rebuilt. We walk down stinking lanes choked with garbage, past homes that remain hovels with crumbling walls, wobbly doors, no windows, crowded with families of humans and animals coexisting in a primeval state. Okay, so again, even this Mukesh's family lives in a slum area where it is very difficult to exist. Okay, and still he stays there and he's taking the writer along. और जब राइटर उस एरिया को देखता है तो वो देखता है कि कैसे वहाँ पे एनिमल्स और इंसान दोनों को एग्जिस्ट कर रहे हैं। घरों में किसी घर में दरवाजे नहीं हैं, किसी घर में खिड़कियाँ नहीं हैं। एंड अबाउट 20,000 workers and children especially are working in those bangle factories, which is illegal because उन फैक्ट्रीज़ में फर्नेस जो होता है, जैसे कि आग के सामने काम करना पड़ता है एंड द रूम इज़ वेरी डार्क और सिर्फ आग जलती रहती है एंड देयर इज़ नो लाइट, देयर इज़ नो एयर और बच्चों की आंखों पर काफ़ी ज़ोर पड़ता है, ख़राब हो जाती है। सो बेसिकली इट इज़ द चिल्ड्रन आर नॉट सपोज्ड टू वर्क ओवर देयर, but still this work is going on illegally at present also, and this child is also existing like the other children in the society. He stops at the door of one such house, bangs a wobbly iron door with his foot and pushes it open. We enter a half-built shack, and one part of it, thatched with dead grass, is a firewood stove over which sits a large vessel of sizzling spinach leaves. On the ground, in large aluminium platters, are more chopped vegetables. A frail young woman is cooking the evening meal for the whole family. Through eyes filled with smoke, she smiles. She is the wife of Mukesh's elder brother. Not much older in years, she has begun to command respect as the Bahu, the daughter-in-law of the house, already in charge of 3 men, her husband, Mukesh, and their father. When the older man enters, she gently withdraws behind the broken wall and brings her veil closer to her face. As custom demands, daughter-in-laws must veil their faces before male elders. In this case, the elder is an impoverished bangle maker. Despite long years of hard labor, first as a tailor, then a bangle maker, he has failed to renovate a house, send his 2 sons to school. All he has managed to do is teach them what he knows, the art of making bangles. Okay, now we are talking about Mukesh's family, and the writer has asked Mukesh to take him home, and Mukesh is very, very happy to take the writer to his house. And when the writer enters the house, he sees that that house is also not in a very good condition. The door is also very wobbly मतलब हिलता डुलता है, कभी भी टूट के गिर सकता है. And then he goes inside and he sees, the writer sees कि जो एक lady है वो खाना बना रही है वहाँ पे, and perhaps she is the bahu of the house. She is the wife of Mukesh's elder brother, यानी कि मुकेश की भाभी है वो, and उम्र में बहुत बड़ी नहीं है, छोटी सी ही लड़की है, पर इतनी writer is again surprised and amazed कि such a young small girl has taken the responsibility of 3 men, उसके ससुर, उसका husband और उसका देवर. And थोड़ी देर में जब उनके ससुर आते हैं तो शी ऑल्सो नोटिसेस कि एकदम से जो भाभी है या उसने घूंघट कर लेती है और वो अंदर चली जाती है, बिकॉज दैट्स द कस्टम दैट women do not sit in front of their father-in-laws, especially in uneducated families. This is the way they show respect, you know. In modern families now this custom no more exists. Everybody sits together and eats and laughs and jokes around, but still in uneducated or village women are still not supposed to sit along with the men, and if there are elder men तो घूंघट करना पड़ता है, सर पे पल्लू डालना पड़ता है. That's the basic Indian custom. That's what the Mukesh's bhabhi is following, and that's what is expected of every other woman in that locality. So ये जो ससुर थे या मुकेश के पापा जो हैं वो पहले टेलर के जैसे काम करते थे. नाउ ही इज़ ऑल्सो वर्किंग इन द फैक्ट्री, और वो अब बैंगल्स बनाने का काम करते हैं, चूड़ियाँ बनाने का काम करते हैं. और इतने साल काम करने के बाद भी वो इतना पैसा नहीं कमा पाए हैं कि वो अपना घर बना सकें, कि वो अपने बच्चों को स्कूल भेज सकें. All that he could do is teach his sons, or teach both the sons, the art of making bangles, and that is what he has taught. So it is an art which is hereditary, which has gone from father to son, and perhaps when Mukesh will have his son, he will teach him the same thing if his financial condition remains the same. So that is basically the life of the people who are working in the bangle factory, or children who are working as rag pickers. Okay, so we will continue with the rest of the chapter in the next video. Till then, please go through the chapter, read it, and if there is problem, please do ask me personally. Okay, take care of yourselves. Have a great weekend. Bye bye.